Good day, everyone. My name is Paul Lawrence Van, and I host Wealth Academy podcast. I'm glad that you could be with us today because our featured guest name is Pat Carpenter. And I just want to introduce you to her and we'll get started. Pat, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. Now, let me cover Pat's remarkable bio here so that you can learn more about her as we go forward. Pat Carpenter is a retired registered nurse, an RN, and a best-selling co-author of the book Rise Up with Lisa Nichols. Her second book is to be published this month, and Pat empowers women to live their authentic personal and work life. She inspires women to work in their passion field and not settle for a mediocre career. She's all about empowering women, and we're honored to have you here on today's episode of Wealth Academy Podcast. So we want to welcome all of our viewers and all who will listen on the archive as well. So Pat, welcome to Wealth Academy Podcast. Please share a little bit about your backstory and what was your experience like growing up?
Hi. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm glad to be here. I'm a Baltimore native, born and bred right here in Baltimore City. Went to all the public schools here in Baltimore City and graduated from Northwestern High School.
Fantastic.
For a while, I did work for the government. I think they call civil servant.
Service?
Did that
Yes.
for a while
Mhm.
before I decided to return to nursing. I wanted to try out something else.
Okay.
So got into nursing a little later.
All right. Nursing is a wonderful career area, and it really means that you care about people. And to me, that's one of the most important things that we can do. So, when you grew up in Baltimore, a lovely city, of course, my daughter attends college in that area. What were the golden rules in your home? In other words, what were some of the pillars in which your parents had for you and your siblings?
Oh, well, we my mother was the head of state.
All
She,
right.
she pulled no punches, okay? So it was myself, my brother, and my sister. And she always said, your word
Yes.
is your bond.
Yes.
Your word is your bond. And sometimes all you might have is your word. And if that's shaky, you're in a big trouble.
Absolutely.
And finish what you start,
Yes. That's really good
big
as
on
well.
that, and have integrity in what you do.
Yes, those are really some amazing principles. And we know that when we look at the younger people today, that those who are listening to this, these are some very important principles to adhere to because it can really help you to have a wonderful career and wonderful life. So thank you for sharing that, Pat. So, what was the inspiration for you becoming a registered nurse? Again, nursing is not for everyone. And of course, that means you're on the front lines when it comes to healthcare. What moved you to serve as a nurse? And you did it, and you did it great for 30 years. Please share
Yeah.
what that experience is like.
Yeah, I had no intentions of ever becoming a nurse. That wasn't my role.
Uh-huh.
I was in school to do something else, and the
Sure.
school closed down the program I was in.
Oh my goodness.
So now I had all of these medical classes, and what was I going to do with them? And I was just beside myself. And the girlfriend and I talked, and she said, put it all in the nursing. It's like, I don't want to be a nurse, but that was the best place to
Sure.
push all my credits.
Absolutely.
And I, once I got into it,
Uh-huh.
once I got into it, I learned that nursing had so many avenues. There's so much you could do.
So you can branch off into one area or another.
Yes, there's just so many areas and expertise of nursing.
Uh-huh.
So I usually tell young people, if you're going to get into nursing, find a specialty and you be the best in that specialty for nursing. So money drove me there because I had two young girls
Okay.
that I was raising
Sure.
as a single parent and divorced, and life happened.
Life
So
happens.
yeah, life happened. So nursing was the best for me.
So what area or specialty did you branch off into? In other words, what area did you go into as a part of a specialty, Pat?
Yeah, I kind of defaulted to dialysis.
Uh-huh.
To finish nursing school, I needed to juggle my time.
Okay.
And a dialysis program was in the hospital where I worked.
Okay.
So as a nursing assistant, I learned to be a dialysis tech while I was finished nursing school.
Mhm.
And after I finished nursing school, I was working in the hospital as a new nurse.
Uh-huh.
And one of the nephrologists that I had worked with for about a year and a half
Mhm.
asked me, "Why are you on this floor? I need nurses."
Ah,
So I was offered a job right then and there and started like a week later.
wow, that's amazing. And that's a
Yeah,
very important field as well. Dialysis, given that people have diabetes and things don't always work out with the liver, the kidney. So
right.
what is the Pat, what is the current state of dialysis? And what should people know about this given your expertise as a nurse for so many years?
Dialysis has progressed over the years. And if you're not in it, you don't understand how the machines have changed, the thoughts have changed, the medical reimbursements have changed.
Uh-huh.
And dialysis, when someone is deemed renal failure to the point that they need dialysis,
Sure.
it is a disease that the entire family
They
will get
all
involved.
experience it.
Yes, because not only is the patient there scared to death,
Mhm.
going through something that is foreign to him
Sure.
or her,
Uh-huh.
the family now has to be the transportation. They've got to start preparing that person's food differently if he's or she isn't the one that's preparing the meals.
Right.
Every dialysis unit comes with a social worker and dietitian right there. They are right there in that unit at all times. So it's a lot of programs that the dialysis person, the person receiving the dialysis,
Uh-huh.
um, is available to.
Okay.
So that social worker is there at all times. The family, she gets to know that family inside and out. And the diet is different. So if you're an elderly person and you're by yourself
Sure.
and we're telling you you got to do a different diet, maybe you can't get out to shop,
Exactly.
right?
Uh-huh.
Or if you are the person that's preparing the meals,
Mhm.
you might not have enough money to fix meals separately
Sure.
from the rest of the family. So that's why I said it's something that will encompass the entire family.
Right. Yeah. Well, I work out at a gym as a community center, and I talk to everyone when I'm there. I'm just a talkative person. And the gentleman in there is working out, and he and I were talking, and he said, "Well, I got to go." I said, "You going so soon?" He said, "Yeah, I'm going to my dialysis treatment right now." He did some exercise. He came,
Uh-huh.
did some weights, leg weights, upper body weights, and then he headed out. And I just can't imagine what he's going through right now. Again, like you stated, that I'm not, I don't know what that's like. But when we look at that, you have to change that diet. And
Mm,
the fact that he's exercising, I guess he's not as in
yeah,
dire straits as others, maybe.
right. I can remember people that I met when I first got into dialysis,
Uh-huh.
and I've come across them later, 20 years later, and they're still hanging in there. Now, like,
Okay.
oh my goodness,
Is it that,
dialysis works. It works.
is it that medicine has changed that much in technology and
It's the
medication?
technology and the machines.
Okay.
It's
Fantastic.
basically the machines. They have changed so, so much that has given a better quality of life.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, you are also an area manager for 5 units. Please share what is that and what does that entail?
I think out of everything I did, that was the most enjoyable because I left dialysis in the center
Uh-huh.
where patients came into the center to get their dialysis.
Uh-huh.
And I went into a section where we taught the patient how to do the dialysis for himself
Mm,
in his home.
okay.
That's a whole separate.
So now, has it always been that a person could have it in their home, or would it be that they would go to one of the centers? Because I have a location near me here in Fort Washington.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the patient's choice.
Choice. Got
Between the patient and the physician, they will come up with the best way that that person can get dialysis. If you are able to do it alone,
it.
then I'll teach you. And usually we take 5 days,
Okay.
6 hours a shot, and by that Friday, you would be able to solo and do your dialysis on your own. And that is not a small
Oh,
task.
oh, no, not at all.
It
Because
is
we're
not a small
talking 30 hours,
Yes,
getting
yes,
people ready for that experience.
yes. And they learn it's a special machine that they use for dialysis at home, right?
Right.
And we will teach them how to take care of themselves. Everything that we would do for them in the clinic,
Clinic,
we
they
teach them how to do at home.
at home. All right. Well, this
Yeah,
is a very, very important episode here because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are not familiar with this. So
yeah,
to me, this is very important. I'm learning so much myself.
yeah.
And so, yeah, this is just a wonderful episode here because it's all about that health and that wellness and having that well-being, and it can relax some people's minds. That is not something that you necessarily have to do in one of the facilities, but you can also
You can do
have
it home.
an option.
Yeah. And I had 5 clinics.
Uh-huh,
So each clinic had its own nurse
uh-huh,
and their group of patients, and they worked with their medical director. I
uh-huh.
just oversaw those 5 units, and I was in Washington, D.C.,
See? Uh-huh.
Frederick, Maryland,
Maryland? Yes, I know where
uh-huh,
that's at.
um, Hyattsville,
Yes, I know where that's at.
and then I had 2 clinics up here in the
Baltimore.
Northeast Baltimore.
Okay, okay. Now you also, in all likelihood, will work with. Do some of the patients end up getting a transplant?
Some, yes,
Okay, so
yes.
this precedes the transplant, and then if a person gets a transplant, would they still have to come back for the dialysis, or it just depends?
Hopefully, hopefully, after
Yes,
they get the transplant,
transplant.
hopefully that kidney will kick in before they even leave the operating room.
Got
But
it.
sometimes the kidneys are slow to get on board, and
Yeah.
we might have to give them just a little bit of dialysis until that kidney kicks in. And then once it kicks in, they don't have to receive dialysis anymore.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's
Uh-huh.
wonderful. Yes, that's just great, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. Because, as you stated, this is not a small feat. This is not something that is not like a fast food place. You
No,
actually have to sit in there and go through the entire process, and that
yeah,
30 total hours of preparation prior to individual providing maintenance, sustaining themselves. That's really
yeah.
remarkable, and I'm pretty sure this is a very high demand career field as well.
It is, but any nurse can be trained, and then you have your techs are very specialized. They're just not the patient care techs that's on the floor.
Sure, got it.
They're patient care
Specialized.
techs
Mhm.
that have gone through a special training for dialysis.
Uh-huh.
So they are highly specialized.
And they have to be, do it have to be licensed as well as certified?
Yes, yes, the state about 10 years ago said now that all patient care techs have to be certified with the state of Maryland for dialysis.
Got it. Got it. So people know what they're doing. They're professional. They work closely with the patient's primary care manager as well.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. But thank you so much. I kind of feel like I'm in a science lab right now. And it's good because again, it's something that you really most people just don't know about. So thank
Yeah,
you so much for that. So Pat, we're going to transition just a little bit, and of course, you collaborated with Lisa Nichols as a co-author for the best-selling book Rise Up. I love that title. What
yeah.
did you share as a contributor to this amazing book?
I felt so honored to be a part of that. That was something totally new and just blew me away when I got the opportunity. But it was about 30 people that submitted information or their chapter. So
Uh-huh.
I think it's about 30 chapters in the book, and each chapter tells a different story.
Right.
So my chapter uh, kind of gave an overview
Uh-huh.
of how I had to overcome a lot of things to get to that nursing degree.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, that in itself is just tremendous. You've been able to do that, and of course, you had two daughters. You were a single parent at that time, and
Yeah.
that's no easy feat what's at all. So let me see. I'm working here. I want to get this book up here so people can see it. So let's see if we can get it up there. Are you able to see it now?
Not yet.
All right. Well, I'm working on it. Okay, let me go to my share, and hopefully I'll be able to get it up here. And this is what happens, people, when you're doing live recordings. You have to be able to get it maneuvered, but if we can't, we'll talk through the book. So let's talk a little bit more about your book, Pat, and what you contributed, and what was it like for you to get in there? You were selected to be a collaborator on the book, co-author,
Uh-huh.
and let's share a little bit about what you talked about. What would
Oh,
you say is the high point for it?
yeah. I had an opportunity to really think like, what do I want other women to know?
Uh-huh,
What story do I want to share? Not just everything that was terrible as you grow up, because everybody's got stories as you grow up. But I had big dreams, coming out of high school.
uh-huh,
And I just was hit by so many obstacles being told that I couldn't do this or you can't do that,
yeah, yeah,
and then I also had gotten into a really bad marriage and ended up with divorce with two young kids. So I knew that the job I had at the time, working at the local hospital, was not making it. It wasn't even having ends meet. You gotta try to make ends meet. No, those ends weren't meeting.
gotcha.
So they were not meeting. So that's when I decided, look, I've got to make a plan here.
Uh-huh,
I've got to make a plan. I've got to be determined. And I've got to find a job that's going to make enough money. I didn't want to make work no more overtime.
uh-huh,
I didn't want to have no more 2 and 3 and 4 jobs at one time, because the more jobs you work, the more you are away from your family. And I said, that's
true.
it. I'm going to find me a job I can work 40 hours a week and sit back and have enough money, and all my ends will meet.
Exactly.
So it just highlights some of the obstacles that I had to overcome.
Okay. Well, I think that's a very poignant thing to say because, again, you had this major challenge at a point in time where you were really moving your family forward. And as you said, your mother was the center of the family. At this point in your life, you're the center of the family for your two kids.
Right.
And so that's very important that you have this career. You still had a career in spite of the challenges you face and people telling you that you can't do something. When people
Right.
tell me I can't do something, that only gets the rocket into space faster.
I would tell you, when people told me I couldn't do it,
Oh
and I
boy.
look around at that tiny little hot apartment and those two kids and the
Oh yeah.
raggedy car and the no money and the no food. And I said, oh, yes, I can.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. How did he get to the space? How did she get to the space shuttle that fast? Because you gave her that inspiration, that rocket fuel
Yes.
to move
I
beyond those doubts and those fears and someone else's negativity.
yeah, I was determined.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I
And
was so
I'm just
determined.
thrilled that you did because we wouldn't be having a conversation now.
Yeah.
So you're noted for being a person with that resilience and determination of which we're talking now. How has your journey shaped and equipped you with these gifts? Because through all of those things that at the time we're going through, with we feel that sometimes we almost feel defeated, me included. I feel, gosh, I'm defeated. I'm not going to be able to overcome this. And yet, as you're going through the process, what did that feel like, and how did it equip you with the gifts that you currently have?
Wow. Never. You hear it all the time.
Oh
Never
yeah,
give up.
never
Never
give up.
give up. Never give up. I can't tell you how many times I had to repeat anatomy and physiology. Ask me a question now. I bet you I can answer it, but
That's awesome.
I had to repeat some things and I had to, you have to
Yeah,
back and
back up,
regroup and
reassess.
reformulate and
Yes,
strategize and come at it again from a different angle. Don't
absolutely.
ever give up. And you got to overcome all those naysayers.
Yes, and they will be there. They'll be lined up. The haters, we call them. They're the haters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I call them?
Uh-huh.
Dream stompers.
Yeah. That's what they're there for. They're not there
Dream,
for any other reason.
stomp on your dreams.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We move beyond them and close that door. Absolutely. So Pat, you came back around in terms of finding love in your life, another relationship, and you got married again. Let's share something about your spouse. And I know you went from that aspect of caretaker for and caregiver and expert for dialysis patients and families. What was it, the transition for you to become a caretaker for your spouse when he had a
Ah,
health setback? I know it transitioned you into that caretaker status. How did this differ for you, having been a nurse and caring for others, and then now with your spouse?
it's different.
Mhm.
It's different. I mean, you have all that medical knowledge in your head, yes.
Yes,
But when you have to turn around and take care of a family member,
right.
now you have your emotions all
Yes,
in this.
it's much closer.
Yes, 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 yes. And then my husband ended up on dialysis.
Oh, wow. That's going
Yeah,
full circle.
yeah, yeah. So I was able to support him.
Yes,
I was able to understand what was going on with him,
absolutely.
right?
Yes,
And as the years progressed, his dementia came in.
right. So you had another dynamic working.
Yes, so it was about five things going on in there, but the dementia and the dialysis was really taking a toll on him. And
Sure.
I was able to be an advocate
Yeah,
because sometimes doctors want to do a procedure or
sure,
do something or put you on the medication
sure.
because they want to wash their hands of it.
Exactly.
But I wouldn't let them because I
You,
not that I know what was better,
sure,
but I knew what he wanted. I knew how he would respond to some of these things they wanted to do.
sure.
So I had to be the caretaker,
And the advocate,
and
and
the advocate. Mhm.
yeah. So I understand that he was a veteran as well.
Yes, he
Yeah.
was a Air Force veteran. He'd spent 25 years in the Air Force.
God, he's one of me.
Yeah,
I love my Air Force people. I love all the military, but I have a special place for my Air Force people. So, yes, my sympathy and condolences for the passing of your husband and my fellow veteran as well, Air Force veteran.
yeah, he was an Air Force veteran, and
That's wonderful.
he was a trooper all the way to the end.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. And so when this came about, I know this is the last thing that you thought that would happen. And so this puts you into a special place as well. What were you experiencing when you lost him, and how is it shaping you now as you come through with Rise Up? You're helping women to not only do the work that they're passionate about, but
Mhm.
have a personal and professional life that's exceptional. It's not mediocre, but it's living fully. Maybe their
Yeah,
best term.
yeah. The one thing I used to tell the women when I was the nurse at the dialysis center,
Mhm.
who were the wives,
Yes.
when your family member is here with us in dialysis,
Uh-huh.
they're going to be here from 4 to 6 hours with
Okay.
us,
Mhm.
3 times a week.
Mhm.
And my personal goal was to get that family member calm enough and trust us enough
Sure.
where you take those 6 hours and go do something for yourself, whether it was to go shopping, go get your hair done, go back home and take a nap, whatever you could
Lunch,
do for
dinner.
those 6 hours,
Mhm.
right?
That's very good.
Yeah,
So
and
some
when we,
self-care.
yes, because everyone's tense and on edge, and I'm leaving my family member, and but
Right.
once we get them calmed down and say, we got them,
Sure.
we'll call you if we need you.
Absolutely.
So when my turn came around,
Mhm.
I made sure that I hired someone to come in on his dialysis days 3 days a week.
Sure.
A young lady would come to help him with his lunch,
Uh-huh.
clean his room, take care of him.
Uh-huh.
And that's when I would go out and shop and do whatever I needed to do. And I got into things that kept me busy that
Sure.
had nothing to do with taking care of patients. So
Exactly.
I would go off with the red hat ladies and have lunch once a month. I did that.
It's wonderful.
And I returned to my Mary Kay jobs. I love that. I got back into my Mary Kay.
Speaking of Mary Kay, which, I've read her story and I love what she's doing. Of course, her legacy lives on.
Yes,
Uh, what do you consider to be the most important principle that you learned from
from
Mary
Mary
Kay?
Kay.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Um,
She was a very extraordinary leader.
yes, she was. Yes, she was. And the thing I really liked about Mary Kay, her philosophy.
Yes.
She has a fantastic philosophy. And one thing she always told people, faith first,
They first. Yes.
family second,
Mhm.
career third.
Okay.
You know,
Wonderful Trinity.
yes, you've got to have faith, faith in something or somebody's got to have faith.
Even something bigger than, greater than yourself. Yeah.
Yes, and take care of family.
Family. Yes.
Okay. And career.
That's
Then
true.
you can get your career going.
Yeah.
And with Mary Kay, she gives you the opportunity to have a career if that's what you choose to do with it. Now
Absolutely.
you can come into Mary Kay and be part-time and whatever, or you can come in Mary Kay and take the bull by the horns and make as much as you want. But I've seen the women that come in who can not too sure of what this is, or kind of meek, don't want to really speak up, terrified, never really did anything for herself or never had her own business.
True.
And within about 4 months, you can see a total change in that woman.
So they have wings to fly.
Oh my goodness, yes. So it is,
That's wonderful.
it's not just the cosmetics. The
Medics.
cosmetics are there, and yes, you can make the money. But I returned to Mary Kay because of that sisterhood is so strong.
Yes.
Those women got your back.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
Okay.
always say you're in business for yourself, but
Yeah.
never by
By
yourself.
yourself. And that's a very important point. And we know that one of the top ways that we have people that are going through depression is because they're lonely.
Yes.
And so Mary Kay gives you that community. It gives you that
Yes.
culture.
Yes.
And that helps keep people out of that, oh gosh, I'm alone. No one cares about me. No one knows
Yes.
what I'm going through. And yet you can have those shared lived experiences, which is
Yes.
great. Yes. So, Pat, we're coming to a close here. If you can please share some words of wisdom with listeners, something that will move them forward. And if you can also provide your contact information.
I would ask women
Yes.
and men,
Mhm.
but I know a lot of women give up their dreams easier than men. So I would ask him, did you have a dream? Did you have an idea? What
Yes.
was it you wanted to do?
Yes.
What did you want to do with your life? And if you did not follow your dream, why?
Right.
Okay. Did someone tell you that you weren't enough, not good enough, small enough, tall enough?
Sure.
People tell you you can't have that job. People like you don't do that job.
Exactly.
I've had people tell me, people like us don't do those kind of jobs.
Exactly.
Well, if you're frustrated, I will tell you what was your dream. If you didn't, and it's never too late to
Never.
follow your dream. It's never too late to follow your dream.
Mhm.
Set your dream,
Yes.
set a goal,
Uh-huh.
make a plan, follow your plan, and put your blinders on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. And can we get your contact information? You have a
Yes, I
yes.
have a beautiful website you may visit, and
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
www.marykay.com
Okay.
forward slash
Okay.
P Carpenter.
Okay.
Okay, you can go there and shop if you like. Just go there and take a look
Sure.
at it.
Absolutely.
Or um
You could get the
my
book. Uh-huh.
oh my book. Yes,
Amazon. Yeah.
yes, my Amazon. You can buy my book, and I got a second book coming out in
Oh,
just a couple of
wonderful.
weeks. I'm so
Congratulations.
excited.
This is gonna
Yes.
get me fired up to write my next one.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm so excited. I never thought I would get one out. So
Yeah.
to have two come out in 3 months apart,
Yes.
I'm already over the top.
Oh, she's over
Um,
the moon. So
so you,
I did. I'll definitely make sure I have it in the notes that people can go to Amazon and get the book. And the book again is titled "Rise Up" with a exclamation point. And of
yes,
course, we'll see Lisa Nichols on there as well, who's doing exceptional work with her transformational coaching and collaboration, book collaborations, and more. Yes.
yeah, yeah. And
Oh,
if you want to know more of my story and how I overcame and um, pushed the dream stompers away and
uh-huh.
how I became the nurse, that book is called Overcoming the Dream Stompers.
Oh, great.
And that'll be on Amazon by the end of the month.
Oh, wonderful. I'm looking forward to that. And of course, I'll let people know when I post this particular episode, I have it in the show notes. But I really want to thank you so much for being just a wonderful guest. I feel educated about dialysis.
Anytime.
Yes. And then, of course, being able to overcome life's greatest challenges, of which you share today and also you're empowering women to move beyond the ordinary, the mediocrity, to move them into excellence and
Yeah,
living their best passion in work and in their personal life, which I think is really great. And of
yeah.
course,
Never
you're
give up.
doing, yes, never give up, and you're doing great work with Mary Kay, and it's a wonderful institution and culture to be a part of. And so, Pat Carpenter, I want to thank you for being our honored guest, and I want to say to our viewers and the people who will listen on the archive to go to Apple Podcasts, rate and review Pat's episode, which is episode 265, 264. And you'll be able to listen to this and give her a 5-star rating. And we really appreciate you doing so. And share this with your family, your friends, and your colleagues. And so I want to say to everyone, have a great day, and I'll see you on the next episode of Wealth Academy Podcast. And Pat Carpenter, have a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and congratulations on your next book that's coming on later this month. So have a great
Thank
day.
you.
All righty then. I'll see you on the next episode, everyone. This is Paul Lawrence Van
Bye-bye. Thank
Host,
you.
Wealth Academy Podcast.